Hello and welcome to the Flix Forum podcast, where each episode we go back and we look at a Netflix original film in the order of release. This episode we have Netflix 256th film from 2020. It's the animated adventure, The Larva Island Movie, directed by Byoung-Wook Ahn, and it stars the voices of Hong Bong-ki, Kang Hyun, and Eddy Lee. I'm Jesse. I'm here solo for The Larva Island Movie. Interesting. This has got a little bit of history, a little bit of information. I've seen, this on Netflix, and it's got a TV show as well. So there might be a few people that are a fan of this. But so if you are and you haven't seen the film and want to see the film, give us a pause. Come back a little bit later on because we're going to start with the fast flicks, where we'll do a quick little summary of what the film is all about. So this one it's a collection of memories of a man who was stranded on an island with bugs. That's literally the gist of this one. So let's talk about what this is all about, the Larva Island movie. So this is it's based on the Korean TV show called Larva, which has a total of 311 episodes. It started way back in 2011, and then Netflix did pick it up with 26 episodes from 2018 to 2019. This film, it's actually more like a compilation, because it's uses lots of parts from episodes from the series, and there's some new animation, and this is through conversations this character Chuck has in New York City, and the rest, all the parts on the island that we see are reused from that TV series. Apparently this film serves as the canonical finale to the Larva franchise, until there was an extra thing made called Larva Family. But this film, it focuses on Chuck, who has returned to civilization long after the events of this episode called Drift, which told the events of the final season. Larva, as I mentioned before, when it was launched in 2011 by Tuba Entertainment in Korea, they had adult viewers in mind. The producers wanted to create a cartoon that would appeal to an audience of a wide age scale. It debuted on the national Korean TV channel KBS, which is on cable, with short 90-second episodes, and the series quickly became popular. And as of September of 2015, the show had been sold to more than 40 countries, including France, merchandising contracts in Taiwan, Germany, Turkey, Chile, and lots of others too. Apparently, the creators of the TV show, they earned $1 million in royalties in the first 3 months of launching merchandise like toys and stationery and stuff like that. So pretty successful, I'd say, this TV show. The film across the world, the only other title, in Hungarian, it's called Bug Island the Movie, so it takes away the name Larva. This was, as a package film, was released on Netflix on the 23rd of July 2020. What are the critics and audiences saying about this one? Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have a percentage, not enough reviews, no audience ratings. IMDb, 4,500 ratings, sits at a 4.6 out of 10. Letterboxd, very, very low. Only had 630 odd ratings, so it sits at a 2.8 out of 5, and it's been logged by a bit under 1,000 people. So what are my early thoughts for this one? I'm not sure how Netflix thought this was a good idea. Audiences deserve better. This is pretty ordinary, and you're not going to hear many positive things from me about this one at all. So I'd like to talk about characters in the film. This one's tricky. I'm super lazy with this. I've literally just taken some descriptions from Wikipedia about some of these bugs and characters. So, we start off with Chuck, who's this guy who survived on this island with bugs, and the film is about him being ready to tell his story to the world. He's got a soft spot for bugs, but he's sort of, obviously because he spent so much time with bugs on the island, but he's struggling to adjust back to city life and being around humans, He sits down with this character called Grace, who's an author, and she wants to write his story into a book, Then we think about all the bugs on the island. So there's a yellow bug. He's this happy-go-lucky sort of bug who has this friendship with Red. Red's this other bug on the island. So usually Yellow obeys Red, but Yellow, he loses his mind in front of food, changes colors with emotions. Red, the other bug, hot-tempered, greedy, shrieks, shouts, screams, anger, fear, frustration, panic. In this film, he falls in love with this Tarzan-like bug, which I think, by looking, is called Mango. I don't think we ever heard the name in the film. Clara is this seal that rocks up on the island that becomes friends with them all. Playful, charming. Coincidence has the same name as Chuck's girlfriend, and maybe that sort of leads us into believing that maybe all these bugs are a part of Chuck's imagination, A couple of other bugs. There's this crab former character. It's like a crab that ate this unknown alien object and turned into this robotic crab. and there's this bird that always wants to eat the bug. So they're all there for humor, I guess. The director, Byoung-Wook Ahn, directed this and the TV show. That's about it. Worked on the art for another animated show called Oscar's Oasis in 2011. I'm struggling. Look, scenes. Anything that stood out? Nothing. There's nothing that stood out for me. Things that I thought were rubbish. It's really hard because the whole thing was. But I guess a couple of specific things. The first time we meet these bugs, they steal Chuck's candy, and there's this endless chase, which just put me off the film straight away. This film relies on fart jokes. Like, there are so many fart jokes. Every single fart joke was not funny or clever, and there are so many. Clara the seal, I touched on it before. Chuck and every creature on this planet, she sort of goes off the island for a bit, and they all make this song to sing to her. And then we cut back to the present time in New York City, where Chuck's sitting across this table singing that song to the reporter Grace. It was just horrible. And finally, the whole idea that Chuck and Grace, right at the end, that they're now in love with this little side comment, I thought it was hilarious. Like, just poor storytelling. Really did not enjoy this. I guess themes, ideas, what's it trying to say? Family, I guess. You make family of whoever you want it to be, or whatever family means to you. You make family of these bugs to keep yourself going, and that leads into the idea of survival too. The things that you do to keep going, whether it's making up unbelievable things to keep your mind sane, and that leads to having your own truth. Feel free to believe what you want to, even if it is completely unrealistic. What did I take away from this one? I think the animation on the island wasn't bad, I guess, but that's because it's from the TV show. But all that newly animated stuff was horrendous. That part in the city, it looked so cheap, just rubbish. Did not like it. Questions, ponderings, ideas, thoughts. What did I think about this one? This is from a review on IMDb. His name was Dean SWR, and he said, "This movie was appalling and should be locked up and thrown overboard into the middle of the ocean. I put this movie on to stop my kids from fighting and screaming at each other, but the constant screaming of these things gave me PTSD. I walked away after 30 minutes. Thought that was quite funny. And then from Decider too, this is from an article on Decider, they said, "This movie's FPM, or farts per minute, indexed is so enormous, we need Alan Turing to calculate it." Quite a funny little joke about the Imitation Game and Alan Turing, if you've seen that film. So that's all I've got to say, really. Let's wrap this up. Give the film a rating out of 5. As you can probably tell, don't watch this. Don't bother with it. Even kids, they deserve better animation and entertainment than this. They deserve bright colours and jokes, but in a sophisticated way, not in such a horrible way like this. So I'm giving this half a star out of 5. Absolute rubbish. We're on socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Give us a follow. Give us a like if you can. Question I wanted to put out there was, do you find fart humour funny? I don't mind fart humour. My wife absolutely thinks fart and poo humour and stuff like that's pretty funny, but it has to be done really well. Like Bridesmaids, a good example of that toilet sort of humour that works well. This sort of fart humour just was rubbish. We're back next week. Hopefully next week's going to be a bit better. Next week we've got a international film from 2020. It's the crime thriller called Offering to the Storm, or Ofrenda a la Tormenta. It's directed by Fernando Gonzalez Molina and stars Marta Atura, Leonardo Spalgaghi, Carlos Labrado, Francesco Ralla, Emmanuel Arias, Alvaro Cervantes, and Susie Sanchez. So excited for that one. Offering to the Storm. I've got no idea what it's about. Intrigued. Hope you are too. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.